What's up? What's up? What's up? Hmm. Oh, no, Maddie. I absolutely don't. No, I'm just kidding. I have one that's in at cheer. She's at a game. And I have another one that's kind of like just hanging out, having fun, right? So I guess I know where they at. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. Mm-hmm. It depends. But I did want to. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So you got time. My kids is a lot older. So we are going to finish where we left off earlier because I was like, "There's no way we can be behind on two streams, right?" We got day 3 with the other one tomorrow, so I don't want to put us too far back. And we starting at 3. And this one we don't have that much left to do, so that's the one. That's the other thing. And I was like, well, we might as well go ahead and finish this one up versus to trying to squeeze it in tomorrow. But I want to at least get through the rest of the testimony that they have today for us.
She's here. Anything
So did anybody have anything delicious for dinner? I have not had dinner yet. Have y'all had dinner yet? I haven't had dinner yet. Well, most of y'all probably have had dinner, right? If it's 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. We're back at super sticker. Thank you so very much, Maddie. I appreciate it. Yay! Yeah, what y'all have for dinner? I haven't ate yet. I don't know. I made some stir fry. Ooh, honey garlic chicken. That had to be good. That sounds like something that I would be trying to cook. Oh wow, honey garlic chicken. I think I may have tried it before. If she like doing new recipes, I think I have looked at that honey garlic chicken, and I think I have tried it. I don't know if y'all know about the one Marry Me Chicken. Oh, I love spaghetti. But I can eat spaghetti for days. I kid you not. I'll eat the whole pot all by myself. That's why I don't really like making it because they won't eat it and I'll be eating it all by myself. And the amount of carbs and everything in it is just like, oh, unbelievable. And then with some garlic bread, I'm like in it. But yeah, it's this recipe. It's called you say we can talk recipes. It's called Marry Me Chicken. That and this house goes tough. And everyone like, what you making? Marry Me Chicken? Yeah, it's called Marry Me Chicken. SD says she has some roast beef. Baka, you say your husband he eats spaghetti all week. Like I can eat it. I'll eat the spaghetti one night with chicken. I'll eat the spaghetti one night with fish. I'll eat the spaghetti one night with a salad. Like I know how to change this spaghetti all up. Like it'll be a different meal every night for me. Like it just won't be spaghetti. Yeah. So you didn't try to marry me chicken, Baka? I like that one. You say you can bake that spaghetti too. Yeah, I like that one. And when I'm trying to do something quick and fast, I always do lemon chicken, like lemon pepper chicken. Like I just bake it and throw some lemon and some Italian seasoning on it and throw it in the oven and some lemon juice and be like, okay, here you go, lemon pepper chicken. Boom. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that Marry Me chicken is really, really, really good. I, at least this house like it. I tell you. So let me see here. Roast beef. Roast beef make me think of wanting some corned beef. I haven't found a good corned beef spot down here. I know it was a lot of them back in Ohio. I like corned beef. You say you about that life. You see that garlic and that butter. Right. And then they got, now they make the little butter with the garlic in it. Like when you go to the restaurant. So now you don't even have to wait to get to the restaurant. You could just buy it at Walmart and it'd be already like the Roadhouse butter garlic. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I got to figure out something. I probably end up eating the rest of this stir fry that I got going on here that I made last night. I made stir fry last night when we got our stream. So I'll probably make that. Oh, not the whole stick of Carrie Go. Oh, you trying to be clogged up. All right. I ain't even going there with you. Let's see. So it looked like we got a little bit over an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this. Oh, y'all getting rain? SD? Oh, we must have sent it down there. We had some rain. I think it was like last week. It's starting, it's kind of cooling down in the morning, but it's still like 100 degrees out there. Yeah, it's still at 100 here, y'all. I don't know what the weather like where y'all at, but it's still 100 here. Okay.
Very.
Yeah, this morning, I think the state requested
Our creeper
cause
guy.
to witness Tamara Marquez.
The more and
She's
more.
present, she's here. An order was never signed, so
Okay.
we're not seeking anything further. We anticipate wrapping up with this testimony and then calling her for the lunch break. And I think we don't have any other witnesses for this afternoon.
Regarding that, did you either side have any requests as far as what I tell the jury as far as why we're not having session this afternoon?
After the surveillance video, we don't have any witnesses.
And that's going to be quick.
Because our last witness is testifying in Broward County.
Right.
Right, okay.
Do you want me to just stay silent and just tell them we're going to continue the trial tomorrow morning? They have the afternoon off, or tell them that the witness is testifying somewhere else?
Former, not the latter.
Okay. We'll just leave it silent. Okay. How about this, though, to make them feel better?
To continue to work on the case.
Well,
We're preparing the law and legal instructions, or
when do you anticipate that the evidence will be closed, if I say it generically that way, on
Tomorrow.
Thursday, tomorrow?
The state will rest tomorrow.
We anticipate the evidence will be closed tomorrow, do you think? Is that fair? And that we
Yes.
would do arguments as either tomorrow afternoon or on Friday?
Yes.
Okay, they'll feel better about that, just have an idea. So they're not nervous about why are we off this afternoon, hopefully,
No, and they'll know the end is.
we're on
decided
schedule,
first phase.
exactly, we're on schedule, okay.
Final issue, there is since, if I understand the defense correctly, they're not objecting to the accuracy of the recording, which means that calls into question jury instruction 2.11. So it's written in the future tense you are about to listen to. So I guess my request would be, once you could read that to them and just say you just listened to a transcript, maybe put it in the past tense, but I do request the reading of that instruction.
What's the defense position on that?
I don't understand the state's position. They're saying I don't object to the accuracy of the recording. I do. I thought I've made it explicitly clear. I object. I have objected. We objected yesterday. I object today regarding the authenticity of the audio and that the words are appropriately recorded. I have said that. So I don't, to be clear, I only agree to the provenance of where the audio came from. I'm not saying it's made up or, you guys created it out of whole cloth. What I'm saying is I don't agree that it's an inaccurate recording. I do not believe, again, that has been sufficiently authenticated for the record, as I've laid out in my objections repeatedly in the
What
judge's ruling.
instruction
Well,
is
there's
it?
two different
There's
instructions.
two.
Which one are you requesting?
If she's disputing accuracy, then the appropriate instruction is 2.11. Accuracy.
But it's the accuracy of the translation.
Which I dispute.
So then it would be
Okay, but this
2.11.
instruction that you're referring to deals with, we have a witness who's speaking Spanish and the court uses Ms. Valdivieso, court certified neutral interpreter to translate. And the procedure there, which is separate from this case, is that pursuant to our rules of procedure, they are to simply go on what Ms. Valdivieso says and nothing else. This is a different circumstance. This is the state calling its witness in a contested case and asking the jury to put credibility in that witness. And I've said previously, I think it would be reversible error for me to tell the jury anything about except what's being testified to here. I think that's reversible per se error in this scenario, because the jury could disregard the testimony of this witness, period. I have to assume that they could do that. I don't think they're going to do that, but that's not my prerogative. One of the classic rules of trials, the judge may play no part in assisting the jury in making its determination. So the instruction that is referred to by the state, jury to be guided by official English translation, would be me doing that exactly. Telling them, accept the English translation, disregard any different meaning. I would be telling them, this is how you should decide the case. You should accept the testimony of this person and believe it. And that's, I think, reversible error. And I'm not going to give that instruction. I realize there's a tension in the law that has yet to be ferreted out. And Ms. Valdivieso probably would be interested in this. It's questionable. We don't have, this is not our case. We just have someone who's speaking Spanish with no interpreter. No issue as we have in this case. We give this instruction, then there's an issue there as far as if the juror speaks Spanish and they differ with something the interpreter said, where does the law resolve that? Right now, it resolves it to say, rely on the court certified interpreter, who, by the, as I mentioned, is neutral, works for the court. So to me, it's apples and oranges. I'm not going to give that instruction.
And the only reason we requested it is just because it says this instruction is appropriate immediately prior to the jury hearing a tape recorded conversation in a foreign language if the accuracy of the translation is an issue. We are about to play a recording of them speaking in Spanish, and this instruction says, but this refers to a transcript, which we didn't use, but it says whether or not it's an accurate translation is for you to decide. And considering whether it accurately describes the meaning of a conversation, you should consider the testimony presented to you regarding how and by whom the transcript was made, or the translation, we would argue. You may consider the knowledge, training, and experience of the translator. And that, just for the record, that's why we're asking it, because we are about to play some Spanish recordings that she translated.
All right. Regardless of all of that, I just don't think it's appropriate. And the defense doesn't want me to give any kind of instruction. Just want, you could play the evidence. Now, what I do think we may want to get to with the jury, because we've not explained this to them. The item that you're going to be playing is 170.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 170 and 169, I think it was the other one.
Yes, sir.
That for me to explain to them, as I've explained to them before, sometimes you have an item that's in evidence that's been edited, and therefore it can go back into the jury room with the jury. In this case, the item should be edited, but has not been edited, cannot be edited. Therefore, the jury can consider it, can be played to them by the lawyers during the trial, during deliberations. It would be available to them to listen to by a request, and it would be brought into the courtroom, which is a standard procedure outlined in the rules. And we could play portions to them that, and this would be up to the attorneys as far as how to isolate in deliberations what it is that they want to listen to, the thing in its totality or parts of it, and that could be problematic. But I think it might be worthwhile for me to at least to tell them that this item is in evidence and will be available to them during deliberations, but not in the same way as if it were completely edited and going back with them, because they're going to be curious about that. I'm also anticipating that they would say, we want to get a copy of the transcript. And I've explained to them, I think already, it's not in evidence. And they would have the option too, and I would advise them, if this were to happen during deliberations, they have the ability to come back and listen to the entire testimony of the witness. And I took notes, it's 45 minutes approximately of her entire testimony. We play the whole entire 45 minutes of that testimony. But with regard to my concern, do you both agree I should tell them when you seek to publish portions of 170, the issue about it's in evidence, but it has not been edited. There are portions that are irrelevant, just like if it, like an edited thing. So therefore, it's going to be.
We'll defer to when at some point we need to tell them, whether it be now or before after we finish.
True, that's true.
Which we would normally tell them at that point, hey, all of this evidence is coming back except for these items. If you want to hear these, because we have to tell them that
right
later.
But it's a defense thing. I'm open to either way. I'm leaning more to telling them now, just so they're in advance notice of that issue. What do you think?
I just think that it's kind of out of place, Judge, and that I would ask it
If
to be with all the other instructions.
Maybe I'll just leave it alone, because there is the possibility they don't make the request at all.
Right.
And during your closing, you could play whatever you want too.
Right.
All right, so I'll just leave it alone. All right. So with that, we're ready to proceed with the cross-examination of the witness, if there is any. And you're concluding with this witness. Or are you having this witness, you're doing that? Did you have another witness in addition to this, didn't you, or no?
We do.
Okay.
We would ask to call her before the lunch break.
Okay.
She'll be very.
Yeah, because we're going to break for the day anyway. So we'll go a little bit after. We can go to 12:30 if need be.
She'll be very, very quick.
Okay. Let's bring in the jury. We'll continue.
For them to have all these calls, they were on different dates. I'm gonna have to go back in. Where did they get all these calls from? I'm assuming because a lot of this was pre-planning before she was unalive. So who was recording all these calls? Was nephew recording all these calls on the back end without Jose knowing about it? Or who was recording all of these calls? Because the line was not tapped. It would be no reason why his lines would be tapped at this point in time, because they were not looking into him. And I was thinking about how disgusting, of course he's probably guilty, right? How disgusting is it? How hurtful. It does not make any sense. He took 2 lives for absolutely no reason, just because he didn't want his wife to find out. He had no business. And you take it and you take the L, because either way, you still gonna be taking the L. But why would you do that? I was just sitting back and I was thinking, and I was like, gosh, although we be watching these trials and I be just trying to see how they're going to convict somebody, evidence, but just thinking about it, it's freaking disgusting.
You said that you had worked on this on State's Exhibit 170 for approximately 55 hours. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is State's Exhibit 170, can you describe for the jury the audibility of this? In other words, are portions of it very difficult to listen to and understand, and portions of it easy, somewhere in the middle? Tell the jury about that.
This was one of the more difficult audios I've had to translate in my 15 years. However, given that there was one person more clear than the other, those are the parts that I was able to translate.
Okay.
But there are many difficult parts, and they're given background noise, foreground noise. From my understanding, the recording was from a garbage truck, the outside noise. So there was a lot of elements to the audio.
Were there certain portions of this of the videos and audios that you had to go back and re-listen to multiple times before you were able to arrive at your conclusion?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury about that?
I would say that that goes for the whole audio. I had to make sure that I went back, that I slowed it down, that I listened and re-listened to make sure that what I was going to put down was going to be my rendition of the translation, and that I felt it was accurate.
Okay. I am going to play a certain portion that I believe you said is a little more audible than others. Is that right?
Yes, it
Okay.
should be.
Can you please turn to audio session 3 of 9?
Okay.
And we'll begin with "Do You" down halfway down the page. Are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
Now I want you to tell me when you want me to stop so you can translate this portion to the jury, okay?
Okay. Do you want me, how far do you want me to go?
You tell me whenever you want me to stop and stop so that you can translate, then that's when I'll stop.
Okay. It starts with, do you want me to tell you what's going on, or do you prefer not to know? Then it's an unintelligible. Know what? You're the only one that's unintelligible, and you don't lie. They should know who unintelligible, bro. Unintelligible. And I'm the only one. She's pregnant from that little asshole that works there. She says it's mine, supposedly. I can't take chances. I lose everything. No, I'm telling you the truth. If something happens to me, you already know. I'm going to blow her brains out so she doesn't talk. I have to do it, Eric. I have no other choice. I'm going to lose everything. What I need is someone to drive me. That's it. Then there's like a brief pause in between there. You'll hear it again. The audio starts again, and then it's inaudible, unintelligible.
Let me go back, I'm sorry. And based on that clip, and to refresh, we're on session 3 of 39.
Yes.
Okay. And at the bottom where it says OV.
Mhm.
So my question is this, the person who spoke that, were they the less audible voice or the more audible voice?
In that portion that begins with the OV, it was spoken by the person that could be heard clearer.
Oh, okay. So it's more clear, meaning more audible.
Yes, more audible, yes.
Okay, okay. So can you go ahead, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the portion where you left off around that portion?
Around that portion,
Okay.
yes.
Can you go ahead and translate that?
Yes.
You want to clarify?
Oh, yeah. And are you, when you're doing this, okay, and we see that you're referring to your transcript as
Mhm.
well, okay? You also heard the audio in live time.
Yes.
So my question is, are you, when you translate it to the jury that you just did, are you using the transcript to refresh your recollection, or are you translating that in real time based on everything you just heard, or both?
I'm basing it off the translation. That's what I translated, because without my equipment, I'm not able to hear everything. I would probably need to stop certain portions, probably slow them down, go back.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that that's the portion because I can hear some of the parts.
So you based on what you just heard in court, you're able to translate that portion to the jury. that particular section. Based on what you just heard, are you translating that in real time, or do you need to refresh your recollection using the transcript that's in front of you?
I need to use the translation in front of me to refresh my recollection. But I
Okay.
know that when he started saying, you want me to tell you what's going on, or do you prefer not to know? I know it's that section.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Please feel free to refresh your recollection and then clarify with the jury.
I'm not the only one. She's pregnant from that little asshole that works there. She says it's mine, supposedly. I can't take chances. I'll lose everything. No, I'm telling you the truth. If something happens to me, you already know. I'm going to blow her brains out so she doesn't talk. I have to do it, Eric. I have no other choice. I'm going to lose everything. What I need is someone to drive me. That's it.
Go ahead and pick up where you left off. I'm sorry.
Okay. Unintelligible, but nobody knows. Everyone is talking. Oh yeah, she fucked Unintelligible. She fucked Eric. She fucked this one. She fucked. These are rumors. That's the point. She was nagging that she was pregnant by him. She says it's not his. If my wife found out something like that, oh my God, bro. I lose everything, bro. Unintelligible. I have a spot. I already have her. I'm telling you the truth. I've already prepared for her well. I told her that there are some people that want to pay her because she unintelligible. And she asked me, will you go with me? Because I don't know them. And I told her, yeah, I'll go. I'll go. Throw me a couple of bucks my way. You know what I'm saying? I have to find a spot and dump her there. You know what I'm saying? How did you do it? All right.
Okay, we'll stop right there. I'm going to play you one more clip. I believe it was another one that was more audible. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Campos?
Yes.
We're going to remain on session 3 of 39. And again, for the jury, what is the date of this conversation?
August 21st, 2018.
Okay. I want to direct your attention to page 7, about halfway down the sentence that begins with look.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play that. And again, you tell me when to stop, okay?
Look, leave her in something like that, leave her. No one will find her. Like what those cocksuckers did with Unintelligible body. No one knows who was in there. Then there was that brief pause. If I do it quietly, nobody is going to Unintelligible.
Okay, let me stop you there. That particular phrase, that particular piece of speech,
Mhm.
Was that spoken by the person that was less audible or the person that was more audible?
More audible.
Okay, then let's continue just to that next paragraph.
You didn't play the next one. You want to play the next?
Oh, yep. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start right now. Okay, go ahead.
I'll do it quietly. No one knows anything. That's why I was telling you that Unintelligible, because the things I'm going to be wearing, nobody here knows you or me. Nobody has to go to my house. If they go to my house, Unintelligible. I'm just saying, little by little, I'll throw away all the clothes, or I burn them, or wash them with Clorox. That's where it stopped.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, and again, the person who spoke those sentences, was that the person who was less audible or the person who was more audible?
More audible.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Campos, thank you very much. I appreciate your participation in this. Defense counsel may have some.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, so to be clear, this is your second time testifying in court?
Yes.
Okay. And I think what I heard you tell the state is that you were missing a lot from who you were saying, I guess, are classifying as the further away person. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're missing a whole other half of the conversation in large parts, right?
Well, we're missing parts of both.
Oh, of both.
Yes.
Okay, so we're missing some of the one that's the most audible.
No. We're missing mostly from the one that's not as audible.
No, I got that part, but you said we're missing some of both.
Well, you'll see in the translation where there's portions of UI.
Right, so
In
even the
both.
one that's the most audible, we're still missing portions of those conversations from the most audible person, correct?
Not as much,
I understand that.
but still some.
Still missing
Yes.
some. Yes, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay. And we're missing a lot from the person who is the second speaker, the person who's not the lesser audible person.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that it might affect the conversation and our understanding of the conversation if we're missing large parts of the second speaker and at least some of the first speaker?
No, because what the speaker said was what the speaker said, and what was heard, it was translated.
Okay, what the speaker said was what the speaker said. That's what you just said?
Well, yes, whoever I could hear the most, that was what was translated.
Okay. Did you, there's a draft of the translation. Did you author that draft?
I don't have the draft.
Permission to approach the witness? Did you author that draft?
No.
Okay. Have you reviewed that draft?
Yes.
Okay. So you're aware that this was authored by a different person,
Yes.
a different translator?
Yes.
Okay. So you reviewed this draft and then you made your own translation, or you made your own translation and then you reviewed this draft?
No, as a final translation, which is this one, the one you have,
Right.
that is final and certified, what the FBI calls certified for the court to be used for legal purposes.
Understood. My question is, if you've reviewed the draft, which you've told me that you have, that was prepared by another person who translated the same audio that you translated, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain the massive discrepancies in translations from that translator's draft to your draft?
You would have to ask the first translator. That was just a foundation for me. I was going to own this final version, and that's what I did. I reviewed the foundation draft that you have, and I used all of my equipment, all of my skills, my hearing ability, and I owned this last translation to certify for court.
Right. I understand that you have to come and testify to what you translated, but you also reviewed the translation of another translator, and it was significantly different to the extent that just starting out at the transcript, you wrote, I'm going to help you so that blank, unintelligible, over there, I have to do something. When I finish with what I'm doing, I'm going to give you something, and you have to put it away and throw it away with time. Whereas the draft says, I am not going to turn here because there's nothing over there. We have to do something.
Objection, improper impeachment?
I'll sustain the objection. You're allowed to go into this, but I think you need to take it in steps to establish the particular facts that you're going to ask her about.
Okay, yes,
And
sir.
break it up so it's
Yes,
kind
sir.
of compound.
Okay, you understand that you testified today and we just went over your transcript. That in your transcript, do you agree? In your testimony today was that the first sentence is, I'm going to help you so that unintelligible over there. I have to do something. When I finish with what I'm doing, I'm going to give you something, and you have to put it away and throw it away with time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever at a time review any translation that was different than that?
I did not review it. I used it as a foundation to guide me to get to my final translation.
Okay, let me change the word for you. Did you ever read another draft, another translation prior to making your translation?
No, I didn't read it. I listened to the audio, and since this was going to be my version, I translated what I heard.
Okay. When I asked you maybe like 5 minutes ago, if you read this draft and I showed it to you and you took out your glasses and you put them on and you looked at it and you read it, you said, yes, I've seen that. And
I've seen it. Yes.
Okay. Seen it. Have you read it?
No.
So you saw this draft from another translator and you never read it.
I read it to guide me to get to this one.
Okay. So you did read it.
Not all of it.
Okay. Which parts did you read? Let's go over the parts you read.
I don't remember. That was so long ago that I did this translation.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the first line. Did you read the first line on the first page?
I guess I did. I
Okay.
don't remember. I mean, that was so long ago. I
Okay.
can't tell you. I do so many translations on a daily basis. It's
Understood.
hard.
And do you recall that translation on the first line said, I am not going to turn here because there is nothing over there. We have to do something. When I finish with what I'm doing, I am going to give you something, and you have to keep it safe or throw it away.
I did not hear that first portion. I heard what you see here on this translation. That's what I heard.
Okay, my point is though, ma'am, throughout the different, your transcript, your translation, and this other person's translation, I assume this other person worked for the FBI, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and they have similar, if not the same equipment as
Yes.
you, but you heard entirely different things. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. This is what I heard.
Okay, this is what you heard. But it's
Yes.
different than what the other person translated.
Yes.
And again, this was one of, if not the most difficult translation that you've done because of what we just heard. It's mostly road noise.
Yes.
And that's the best that the FBI could do to make it so that you could translate it, right?
Yes.
That's it in its best format for you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Any further questions from the state?
Yes. Ma'am, you said that there is a first FBI translator, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go ahead and explain to the jury what the peer review process is for the Federal Bureau of Investigation? And,
Yes.
And more important, why it's in place?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
When a translation gets to the language specialist, someone like me, the first language specialist or linguist, as we're called, does their first draft. That's why it's called a draft. And it's labeled as a draft. This is their rendition of what they heard. The process for the FBI, it goes through an operational review, meaning it goes to another linguist who uses that translation as a guide, just as a foundation, to help guide them to get to their final translation, which that linguist will own. And that is usually for court purposes, and that's what the FBI calls a certified translation for legal use for court.
Okay. Is this peer review process, is this something that is designed to ensure the accuracy of the translation?
Correct.
Okay, okay. And is that the whole reason that it's in place?
Yes.
Okay, okay. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Further questions from the defense?
Just briefly, Judge.
Sure.
So to be clear, you did review this because you were the reviewer of the draft, right? You read it.
Well, when I started seeing things that I didn't agree with that I couldn't hear, I just went on and did my own.
Okay, but again, when I just talked to you, you said you didn't read it all.
Because I didn't read it, I hear the things, then I write, then I type.
No, I understand for your translation, you have to listen to it and type it out. I get that part. I'm saying this part from the first FBI agent, you just said you review it. The linguist, you review it.
Right.
So I assume because it's in a written form, that means when we say review, you mean you read it.
Well, I reviewed it, like glanced over it and scanned it, but I didn't read it. I didn't read the whole thing. It was too long.
Okay, I don't have any further questions.
Any further questions from the state? May this witness be released from her subpoena?
No, I'd ask her to remain.
All right, thank you. You may step down. You do remain under subpoena for the trial. Thank you. And the state's, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go just a little bit longer. So bear with us. Don't get too worried about lunch. We'll discuss that in a second. State may call its next witness.
So call Tamara Marquez.
I don't know how y'all feel about her testimony. I didn't like it.
Miss Rosario Valdivieso, she's a court certified nurse. She works for me. She doesn't work for either of the parties. She will assist in translating the testimony of a witness that doesn't speak fluent English. And I will swear her at this time to do exactly that. If you raise your right hand, you swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English.
I do. Rosario Valdivieso, certified Spanish court interpreter. Good
Thank-
afternoon, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ma'am, if you can raise your right hand.
Puede levantar
Face
su
the
mano
court.
derecha mirando a la secretaria.
Do you swear or affirm
Jura o afirma
that evidence you're about to
que
give
el testimonio que va a
will
dar
be the truth,
será la verdad,
the whole truth,
toda la verdad
and nothing but the
y
truth?
nada más que la verdad? I affirm.
Thank you.
Wherever
Gracias.
that way the witness
Paso
stand.
para allá para que comience.
With regard to this particular translator and witness, as I've mentioned to you, she does not work for either side. She works for the court. She's completely neutral. She's here to assist us in communication with the witness. She will only repeat what is said and will not add to, omit, or summarize anything. And I have administered the oath to her, and the witness will testify through the interpreter. Although some of you may know Spanish, With regard to this witness, it's important that all jurors consider the same evidence. Therefore, you must accept the English translation of the witness's testimony through the court certified interpreter and disregard any other different meaning. And you may proceed with the witness. We'll have her sworn through the clerk. Was she sworn through the clerk already? The witness? Okay, and you may inquire of the witness.
Good afternoon. If you could state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Buenas tardes, si puede darnos su nombre completo y deletrear su apellido para nosotros.
Tamara Carreño Márquez.
Tamara Carreño Márquez.
And if you want to spell your last name.
¿Puede deletrear su apellido?
Carreno.
Carreno.
And where do you currently reside?
¿Dónde vive usted ahora, señora?
2617 Southwest Cactus Circle, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
2617 Cactus Circle, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
And how long have you lived at that residence?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo en ese lugar?
Más de 14 años.
Longer than 14 years.
All right. So did you reside at 26 at that same address on Cactus Circle in 2018?
Entonces usted vivió en esa dirección en Cactus Circle.
Sí.
Yes.
And in August of 2018, did your house have surveillance cameras?
Y en agosto del 2018 su casa tenía una cámara que grababa.
Varias cámaras, sí.
Several, yes.
Okay. And at that time, were your surveillance cameras functioning?
Y en ese momento esas cámaras estaban funcionando.
Sí.
Yes.
And were they capable of making recordings of what occurred at your property?
Y eran capaces de hacer grabaciones de lo que estaba pasando en su propiedad.
Sí.
Yes.
Prior to today's date, I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification in State's Exhibit 166.
Previo a esto, le quiero mostrar lo que ha sido marcado como prueba ser admitida de la Fiscalía, número 167.
Before you took the stand today, did you have the chance to look at surveillance video from your house from back in August 23rd of 2018?
Antes de que usted viniera aquí a dar testimonio, usted tuvo la oportunidad de revisar el video que se hizo el 23 de agosto del 2018.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. And the video that you watched with me, is that a video from your house back in 2018?
Y el video que usted vio allá afuera conmigo es el video que fue de su casa en el 2018.
Sí.
Yes.
And the depiction of your property in that video, is that what your property looked like back in 2018?
La descripción que se ve en el video de su casa es como su casa lucía en el 2018.
Sí.
Yes.
And did you alter that video in any way yourself?
¿Usted manipuló o alteró ese video de alguna manera?
No.
No.
Do you recognize what I showed you as State's Exhibit 166, this flash drive?
¿Usted reconoce lo que he marcado como número 166 de este flash drive aquí?
Sí.
Yes.
How is it that you recognize that?
¿Cómo es que usted lo reconoce?
El video.
¿The video?
Is this the video that I'm referencing from your house back in August of 2018?
Este es el video que yo me estoy refiriendo de su casa en el agosto del 2018.
El que veía afuera.
The one that I saw outside?
Yes.
Sí.
Porque es mi casa.
That's my house.
And are these your initials on that flash drive?
¿Y estos son sus iniciales aquí en el flash drive?
Sí.
Yes.
At this time, state movement evidence has been marked for identification as 166. The evidence is 166.
No objection.
That item will come into evidence without objection.
And is this the surveillance video of your front yard?
Este es el video vigilante de su jardín de enfrente.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, and where this doormat is that where your front door would be?
Este escudo acá es donde indica que está la puerta de entrada.
De entrada, sí.
Yes, entrance.
Okay, and is this your driveway where we see, I guess looks like possibly a trash can at the end?
Esa es la entrada cuando entran los carros a su casa, porque parece que está marcado con un tacho de basura.
Sí.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna play the video.
Voy a poner el video.
If we are looking at this screen and you're standing at your front door facing the street, do you have a neighbor directly to your left?
Estamos parados aquí mirando este vehículo aquí. Usted tiene un vecino directamente a su lado izquierdo.
En ese tiempo sí.
At that time, yes.
Okay. And did the neighbor to your left drive a truck?
Y el vecino de su izquierda manejaba una camioneta, un truck.
Sí.
Yes.
We are stopped on State's Exhibit 166 at the 9-second mark. For the record, the screen reads 8/23/2018, 8:11 and 48 seconds p.m. The truck that is where it's paused in this video in your surveillance, do you recognize that truck?
La camioneta que usted ve que está parada en este video de su vigilancia, ¿usted lo reconoce?
Objection, Judge, may we
Sí.
approach?
Yeah.
Yes.
Directions.
So you testified that back when your neighbor at the time in 2018, did that individual drive a truck?
Entonces usted dijo de que el vecino de su izquierda en ese tiempo, en el 2018, él manejaba una camioneta.
Sí.
Yes.
And was it a man or a woman?
¿Era un hombre o mujer?
Hombre.
Man.
And where would he typically park his truck?
¿Dónde él comúnmente estacionaba su camioneta?
Me recuerdo debajo de una mata que estaba en frente de su casa, enfrente no, allá al costado, en una sombra. En la sombra.
I remember it was underneath some a tree, not in front, on the side of it, under the shade.
Okay. Did he park in his driveway or did he park similar to how this car left of the screen is?
¿Él estacionaba en lo que es la entrada de la casa como eso o es que estacionaba así en la calle como está ese carro?
Detrás del carro de mi esposo ahí, vendría quedando en la yarda detrás del carro de mi esposo.
Behind my husband's car, it would be like on the yard, behind my husband's car.
And just so I understand, is your husband's car the car that's the furthest to the left?
Entonces, para que me quede claro, el carro que está aquí estacionado es el carro de su esposo.
Sí.
Yes.
And when you say behind it, would it be in the swale but off screen?
Entonces, ¿usted se refiere aquí a la hendidura enfrente, pero que no está en la pantalla ahorita?
Sí.
Yes.
normally, you referenced your husband's car, where the neighbor would park their truck would be, if we were looking at this normally, would be off-screen alongside of the road.
Entonces, donde usted dice que generalmente estacionaba su carro su esposo, entonces usted dice de que el vecino estacionaba en lo que aquí no se vería en la pantalla, pero sería en este lado. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. No further questions.
Gracias, no tengo más preguntas, señor.
Any questions from the defense?
No questions.
May Ms. Marquez be released from her subpoena?
Yes.
Any objection to release? Thank you, Ms. Marquez. You are released from your subpoena. You're free to stay or leave as you wish. And that concludes the testimony this morning.
It does.
So ladies and gentlemen of the jury, through no fault of the attorneys on either side of the case, we're not able to continue the trial this afternoon. I guess the good part of that is you have the afternoon off. We're going to start again tomorrow morning. To make you feel better about that too, I've conferred with the lawyers. The case is on schedule, and we anticipate the evidence being closed tomorrow with the attorneys making their arguments either tomorrow afternoon or Friday morning, which there again is very much within the time frame that we anticipated. Don't speculate on the reasons for that, and we're probably going to be working on some other matters outside of your presence, as I've mentioned to you yesterday. Remember, very importantly, avoid all media coverage of the case. Don't do any research about the case or the people or issues involved. Don't talk to anyone, including your fellow jurors. Enjoy the rest of your day, and same procedure tomorrow, 8:45 in the morning, 8:45 in the morning. We'll see you then. And please leave your notes on your chairs.
So while they wrapping up, so that concludes everything. It seems like we will be listening to the final witnesses. I'm not sure how many witnesses the defense is calling, if they're calling any, but it sounds like we may possibly have closing arguments and maybe to a jury, huh? We shall see.
Address from either side you think that we should address now, or simply break and reconvene tomorrow morning?
No, I will say tomorrow, the transcript for tomorrow is a little bit different. The translated transcript tomorrow actually lists the Spanish and the English, but it does not, from my recollection, it doesn't identify the parties. It identifies them as MV1 and MV2. So I don't know if we may try to renew.
Does it have the edited portions in there, the blackouts?
There is one word that is redacted in that whole, if I remember correctly, I think there's one word that's blacked out.
I think that's right. It had much fewer
I think it's
redactions
just
than
one-
the
I think
other,
it's just
than
one
the other
word.
transcript.
Right. So guess we'll see. We'll take that tomorrow, see if the defense has an objection. It might be different than this one. And is that,
I don't know if we're gonna try to introduce it on just.
it's a much shorter transcript of it because it's as I recall, it's a shorter.
It's only one day.
15 pages.
15 pages,
transcript.
right? 15 pages. So we'll take that, I guess, when it comes to any other issues. And so we have that testimony left.
And a few other witnesses, but I expect to rest at or before noon
Okay.
tomorrow.
And then we'll go from there. We could either do closing arguments in the afternoon or on Friday morning. The charge conference, I think, is going to be pretty quick. Based on, I've given you where I stand with the instructions, and they're pretty, I think we're pretty close to that. But I would invite you to take a second look at that so no surprises, and we're all ready to do that. But I'll be open-minded too, since we have, we could either do tomorrow afternoon closings or Friday morning, but it looks like we're on schedule to do that possibly. Do you have any preference, just so I know? Would you prefer to do them Friday morning? So I'm kind of guessing that would be your preference.
Probably would be the preference, but it's up to Ms. Minton to
Right.
express.
Any idea?
I don't have a preference.
Okay, it might be moot depending on where we are time-wise,
Right. I'm of two minds about it, so I have no preference.
Okay, so I guess we'll
I
play it
prefer
by
to do
ear.
maybe Friday.
We'll play it by ear. For closing, do you think you're both gonna request total, like say an hour and a half or at most, or an hour and a half?
If
Okay.
I go over an hour and a half, we're in trouble.
Not that I restrict you, but I just kind of gauge, what I would anticipate in the case. Okay. All right, so nothing else for us to take today before we break. Very good. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll be adjourned till tomorrow morning on this case at 8:45. Enjoy your rest of the day and the evening. We'll see you in the morning.
Okay, we did it. We got through our day 3. So we have day 4 coming up. It appears that we'll have a couple more witnesses from the state. They plan on being done by lunchtime, and then we'll see if the defense puts up a case. Possible closing arguments tomorrow and wrapping this case up to send to the jury. Now, will he get convicted? Will he be guilty of this unaliving of his baby and Tanya? If he's found guilty, then it goes to another phase, right? Then we have a DP trial. So we may be going to a DP phase next week to see whether or not he gets the DP or just life in prison. I appreciate everybody coming out to hang out with me. I am not going to keep you too far behind this, right? We will be up at 3:00 Mountain Standard Time, which will be 5:00 Central Time and 6:00 Eastern Time. Don't quote me on that. Just hit your alert button. I'll be trying to act like I know these times, but I don't. So we will be back in the morning, and we will be covering our unalive, drugged husband trial, right? The one that was spicy and dicey this morning. I'm looking forward to some more spice and dice. We'll be covering day 3, and then we'll come in and watch this one. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. And remember, you were in the right place today, where there's no filters, no fluff, just facts, so you can be the judge. All right, guys. Have a great one. Thank you. Peace.